Welcome to DRTSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shiva Prasad Reddy alias DRTSPR. Namaste, Adab. Hello and a warm welcome to another show. The entire India and others were waiting for my show on DRTSPR channels following the Cockroach Janata Party and the Chief Justice of India's remarks, which we have done, we have highlighted, and the NEET leaks. It is DRTSPR channels which was in the forefront last year, before that, and continuously this time too, with wonderful doctors and all. And then CBSE leaks the video of a youngster, with which we have made a show, has become a national craze. And they were expecting me to do a show on the same June 6th. If Dharmesh Pradhan, the education minister, does not resign, there will be a dharna at Jantar Mantar by the newly formed party and all, including Sonam Wangchu and all joining, demanding Dharmesh Pradhan. This is like Congress mismanagement of gophers, resulting in VP Singh. I'm going to make a show. Mismanagement Modi government of educational system leaks, NEET and A. Is it going to be another gopher story? And they were expecting me to do a show with the so-called from America. But I'm going to get you another important personality from America, Mr. Prasad Jaladi, Suraksha organization. Also, he takes care of so many other aspects. The Suraksha first, the basis is you should have a symbiosis with the nature, environment. So June 5th being World Environment Day, I thought I'll take up this show so that environment, whether it is at Jantar Mantar, India and world, is the need of the hour. And before I ask my guest to speak on this, I'll just show you the theme of this year, 2026, June 5th, World Environment Days. Azerbaijan is going to lead. And there, the famed city in Azerbaijan, they are hosting this, Baku. So let me just run through the theme of 2026.
World Environment Day 2026 is observed on June 5, 2026, serving as the United Nations' premier global platform for environmental public outreach. The 2026 observance is hosted by the Republic of Azerbaijan in Baku, with the campaign message #NowForClimate. Key details and focus. 1. Official theme, inspired by nature. For climate, for our future. 2. Host country, Azerbaijan, Baku. 3. Global organizer, United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP. And 4. Core focus, urgent climate action, ecosystem restoration, renewable energy scaling, like green hydrogen, and nature-based solutions. Local engagement. For communities in and around Pala, Kerala, the day typically sees localized tree plantation drives, plastic cleanup initiatives, and nature awareness seminars hosted by educational institutions, NGOs, and local self-government bodies. Get involved. Explore global initiatives or register your own environmental activities on the official World Environment Day platform. Review the campaign toolkits and advocacy resources provided directly by the UNEP World Environment Day Hub.
Yeah. This is what World Environment Day is all about. The host country, Azerbaijan. And I will show another picture which has been sent by our guest. Yes, sir, please. Prasad Jaladi garu.
Yeah, thank you so much, DSPR Garu, to invite me again on this good day and happy World Environment Day. And the time and the situations around the globe, including global warming and the temperatures are cold in every city, village, and increasing or decreasing in cold sense. We are in a typical situation. So thank you for putting up that video and also audio. So that is great usage of technology, because whoever are listening to this video or our meeting here would understand the background also of the World Environment Day in terms of history and what is the theme for the year, etc. So today I want to talk about a few things. Moving forward, what do we do? So, including the oxygen that we are breathing, of course, carbon dioxide for plants and other creatures, we all are enjoying that breath because of the nature that we are existing in so far. So, the things are changed since industrialization, and the civilization went on a path. Called development. And here we are in a situation where we need to understand what development means, what are the changes that our industrialization not only brought into our lives, even the industry existence and other metrics like carbon footprint, etc., came into the operation, other regulatory stuff like ESG, we call it now. It is not that fancy word, but again there is some framework around it so that it would protect everybody. That includes biodiversity. So we'll take that subject on a different day, but today is all about World Environment Day. So what we have to deal with is, we have to understand that we are on a day of reckoning. Why I'm saying this? We already crossed so many safe points rather, tipping points. World has 9 such things, and we already crossed 7. So we left with 2. Perhaps we are operating somewhere around along 1.5 or 1.3 already. So the reason why I brought up early on in our conversation is, if we cannot manage the planet's safety net zones, those are 9, we'd be in a different place, and then we can than we are today. So I don't have to explain much. We are all having summer in India, and there is a lot of heat in every city. And I read news that there are thousands of lives, perished because of the heat in India itself. So this is the problem that I was, trying to explain a few seconds ago. So how do we audit our relationship with the planet again, and how do we balance inputs or outputs um, uh, that are coming from our lifestyles, our industries, and our activities, so on and so forth? We all have to come onto the same page where we can learn, co-learn, and unlearn also in most of the cases on the beliefs that we have developed over a period of time. Development, in a sense, development means high-rise buildings, roads, etc., and of course industries, which might be demanding a lot of energy. For example, AI, data centers, so on and so forth. So we are in such a complex world now. So just a reminder again on the history. This moment, the event, at least on World Environment Day, started somewhere around 1972 through UN General Assembly in Stockholm Conference. So already we crossed 50 plus years, and this is a global platform for action already. That also includes UN SDGs, etc. So we came to know about the theme of this year, so on and so forth. So I want to skip that part. So how do we come together fostering government and industry stewardship at this juncture? So to explain about these 9 boundaries again, we speaking of 9 boundaries, imagine that we have a budget, for our own family financial matters, right? So if we overspend that budget, and if we can't sustain that budget until for a long time, we have to do debts, right? So we have to go for a debt. So we may take loan, and all these things would happen. This is also the same thing in terms of environment also, meaning if the planet can offer us some natural resources, say for 1 year, which are replenishable, luckily, we are spending all those natural resources within 6 months in a year. Of course, these 6 months or 5 months or even 9 months or 3 months would also vary depending on where you are living. Yeah, I mean, in different countries have different kind of usage of these natural resources within that kind of time frames. So why again 6 months, 3 months, or 9 months, depending on our consumption, depending on our extraction of natural resources that are only available for that particular year, right? Now it is like if we have 100 rupees in our pocket, if we expense over 100 rupees that are in our pocket, we are over using the money, like maybe debt, whatever it is. So, that means we are spending more resources than the planet can offer in a year. This is the analogy that I want to put forward. So if we use that kind of natural resources more than what we deserve in a year, it is really hard to replenish in several conditions. Say if we cut off a forest that is saving everybody, with not only natural resources, also doing carbon sinking, etc. Two things would happen. There is no carbon sink in that area through trees anymore in that particular area, to the extent of area you are clearing for whatever the reason, industry or agriculture, whatever you name it. And the temperature in that zone also would increase, because the trees would decrease the temperature in its own shade by 5 to 10 degrees. If you could walk in from sunlight on a summer under a tree, you definitely feel that difference. This is what nature giving to us without spending any money. So if we chop up these things, and I mean the forest, this is the consequence that we have to face. Same thing with energy consumption, unlimited energy consumption, and running ACs, etc. Inside we might feel comfortable, but outside the dangerous conditions are developing, because everybody wants to cool their room and survive from the heat. And there is a financial disparity, and also lifestyle disparities also. Not many people even today cannot afford ACs. They might be depending on some other ideas to cool their bodies, maybe homes again. But the heat generated by AC, etc., is more. So we have to keep all these things. Once these are all the consequences again of removing trees. With the development, what is happening is we are also unfortunately creating what we call heat traps within our metro cities. We do not know all these things before. Now we are learning these things. So how do we change our designing of a city from early on, and how do we also create cities in a way so that we reduce the population and we reduce the natural resource consumption in that particular areas, so on and so forth. For example, if we take Hyderabad, drinking water and some other water is coming from the ponds and rivers, right? So if the rivers dry out, where do we get drinking water for Hyderabad? That's going to be a problem. Another thing is we are also running low on groundwater, which is also a consequential development because of our growth patterns, etc. So we're not calculating about our ground levels and the water supply we need, A, for industry, B, for our household consumption. So that includes drinking water also. not being calculated wisely in a way that we would allow the inflow of industries and the general population and of course other infrastructure that is being welcomed into a city, so on and so forth. So these are all stress points that we have to face in near future. Imagine if a lake dries down and the drinking water for that particular city, to cater at least in a particular region is coming from the same lake, there is no drinking water per se. So from where we do bring drinking water? Well, some folks might be thinking we can buy water from other companies, private companies, and the mode of supply is also a problem. And all these vehicles that are bringing water also spew a lot of carbon dioxide because they use diesel, etc. So that itself is also heating the temperature of the city. So other idea is we can use plastic bottles or plastic drums or whatever it is, but they're all plastic, right? Unfortunately, plastics are breaking into microplastics and they are coming into our bodies anyway, and we are ingesting plastics, say 5 milligrams, that is a credit card size, to my knowledge, in a few days. So that's a dangerous thing. So I've been talking about all these issues. These are all true. No, we cannot ignore all those things. And ingesting carbon dioxide, breathing carbon dioxide more, and ingesting plastics, and also dealing with the products that are into every product nowadays. I mean, chemicals into the product in every product are also harming our health and also other things. And once we use these products with the water or whatever it is, even from our bathroom, all these things, and that includes even cleaning products also entering into our water bodies, and they are contaminating. Of course, elections are also contributing to the pollution, plastic pollution. Nobody is caring about that. No, everything has to be like a big festival, and we use plastic like crazy. And all these plastics, again, including banners, are made with some chemicals like lead, and of course pallets, and some other stuff to make it appear very bright and nice, and everybody wants to have that. Even for a birthday, even for a death day, also we are now using cutouts and banners for what? For a thing called this is the way how we want to honor such people and honor certain things like a festival for everything. And unfortunately, due to the rain and heat, these posters, these banners, or whatever the plastic things that we use, including flags, they are releasing dioxins into the air. So dioxins are permanent chemicals and they don't leave. They are all already in our bodies. If you don't trust me, look at the cancer numbers that are increasing in every country. So these are all the root cause of these issues. So what do we do? Failing to protect the environment destabilizes the society. See, with all these things that I said a few seconds ago, these are all causing cancers and other ailments like respiratory issues, and these things are also leading up to infertility. With all this kind of very harmful approach through our lifestyles, through our habits, we are getting into health crisis. We are living in a sick planet, and with the sick people, and also contaminated water, bad air quality, so on and so forth. So, if we take a look at from other angle, this is also creating economic instability, like supply chain disruptions and resource loss, etc. So we have to be mindful on whatever we do and design our industry, design our supply chain processes, and design our consumerism at the personal level. Not every product is not good product. So if we can follow that, we can maintain the system fragility safeguarding ourselves from not crossing the tipping points, irreversible damage, and ecosystems collapse. So, as I said, when we chop up forests and when we facilitate the biodiversity loss and other things with all the chemical industries and power monging, electricity monging industries, we are putting ourselves into great trouble. So this is the time where we all need to come to a table and discuss those things. I call this as all hands on the deck, so that we can take a consensus decision from our communities and go to the city managements and city officials and tell them this is what we want to protect the environment, and also create a system where governments also respect people's aspirations, because they are supposed to work for us, right? So we have to create an amicable situation over there, so that every party has its own interest, and we have to balance these things. If we have to change the industry, we have to change the industry for sure, because if we cross these tipping points, now if Hyderabad has 45 degrees for this summer, next year it is going to be increasing. So do we want cooler Hyderabad or hotter Hyderabad? It is in our hands as citizens. So we all have to come together, and we all have to store the water also. We all have to rainforest also. We all have to have good food, nutritious food, rather than very lavish food and very harmful food, which would destroy our health, so on and so forth. So eating biryanis that are filled with a lot of chemicals for taste is not good anymore. You see youngsters becoming obese, even before 25 years, right? And youngsters losing hairstyle, losing hair in their young age. These are all the things, not just because of the genetics, but are also the chemicals that are involved in our daily lives. They also entered into the food nowadays, fast foods, etc. We have to learn lessons from all these things. A nation cannot be productive having, obese people.
Yeah.
So obesity is a problem, and we need to live on other things. Sometimes we have to carry oxygen cylinders, that reminds us COVID kind of situations, right? So we struggled a lot. So we also struggled to get into hospitals because of the sheer number of the population in a particular city. So we have to put all our experiences that we had before into the context and bring a change in our own behavior, and also request government officials and political leaders to work with us, keeping and giving a place for intellectuals at the table, and design these things for everybody's sake. And of course, politicians are there to support us. We elected them to support us. We have to continue that kind of support system, so that we will have a very good electoral system also in our democracy. And ignoring environment is not democracy. If somebody is thinking that these are two things, right? So when we deal with this kind of situation, we are literally talking about environmental justice. Unfortunately, poor people are suffering a lot than top 1%. This social responsibility is also there on big people. So let me get back to a few points, sir. Can you bring back the slide, so that it would be very cohesive for the listeners also to understand what I'm talking? Thank you so much. So yeah, we have opportunity here again in terms of not only progressing, but also creating vibrant civilization, plus new jobs and new industries in a different direction. So we are the architects of this solution now. Everybody has a responsibility to take a part in this thing. Moving from extraction to restoration thing. We talked about water, etc., but the extraction business also involved in fossil fuels like coal and of course petrol, diesel kind of thing. Of course, we are pulling out crude oil from the ground, and we are refining it, and those refineries again giving cancers to the people. We learned all these things in this century. And we all know these kind of problems are coming up scientifically since the 1980s or before, or even before. So even Gandhiji talked about extractive approach is not good for humankind. In 1935, even before UN brought in all this kind of stuff, we have forgotten what our elders told us, even on sustainable and that is in other words Sanatana Dharma also. But Sanatana Dharma got distorted in a different way. So praying God is totally different from Sanatana Dharma. Right, so we have other responsibilities also. It is not just praying God. We have to protect the environment that God has given us. My personal belief is protecting the environment that God has given us is the fast track for moksha.
Yeah.
So that's what our ancestors told, and we have forgotten on that, and we got on a flight of the so-called development, and we lost track of everything. So let's come back. So the advantage with that is we can latch on to innovation. We can use circular design kind of approaches. We can also create precision technologies, etc. And the sustainability could be a process metric also. Say if you create a product or services, if it is find
Right.
if it has given a major priority to the environment, you are not only creating environmental friendly products and also protecting
Now
the
I
environment
have
at
a
the same
question
time.
for you because I don't want this to become, because you
Sure.
have given such wonderful points. Now I only hope every emerging youngster will understand.
Mhm.
So you have beautifully tabled them right from introduction audit to history, consequences of inaction, and what are the
Mhm.
opportunities. Now I am asking you, what should be the action plan? In 5 minutes, we have to
So,
get out of this, and then we will discuss with
sure.
today's
Yeah,
bridge. Yeah.
definitely. Thank you for this great question. So between green and technology, we are looking at 22 trillion business worldwide. This is the blue and green economy now.
Yeah.
So the train just has arrived onto the platform. Whether we would be able to get into the train and travel, India has a strategic advantage being a sustainable nation for several times. Our banking systems were like that. We are not too bad, even at the consumption level.
Yeah.
Our biggest problem is our own population. Say if we increase pollution, we are already sitting in the middle of pollution. And you look at any landfill in the city, especially in the places like Jawahar Nagar in Hyderabad, that's a real mess. We are burning so many things over there and releasing methane that would increase the heat of any place wherever we are living. So these are all the things. So coming back to the 23 trillion opportunity for youth, we can do innovation. We can educate them in different directions. This is what Suraksha is also doing. We are hand-holding youth by doing awareness programs, by offering workshops, by giving training programs to change the way how I did business at least 25 years ago. So we are working on different models where we can help youth. Of course, there are some other incubators also on this process. Excuse me per se.
Yeah. Because I'm just trying to bring back.
So
Team.
there are so many ideas. We can improve agriculture, avoiding our fertilizers, which are chemicals now, and we can get onto organic farming. Actually, Andhra Pradesh won a prize for going on organic farming. These are all cooperative systems and small ideas that would bring change. When I say Andhra Pradesh won this prize, this is at a global level.
Yeah.
These are all the things we can implement practically in the world, in our own country, right? So when it is when this opportunity is knocking our door, we should not ignore those things. On the technology development thing, everything, including AI, cuts through the environmental thing. But we have to be mindful of from where we are bringing the energy for the industry development. Here, my suggestion is please develop infrastructure and go even for developing microgrids in each city so that we have our own solar power or wind power, and we can also generate tidal power, using our India's coastal line. We have ocean three sides of our India. So it's a great opportunity, and not many countries have this kind of opportunity. So let's engage our youth. Let's engage our sorry, excuse me, our engineers. Let's engage our biotech and chemistry graduates, postdocs, and research fellows everywhere. There are research fellows and experts in the Indians. A lot of our guys are postgraduates, and they are all working in different multinational companies around the globe as of today. So let's make use of our own strength, and let's build a new infrastructure without any hesitation. Let's not open up our cold minds. Let's not use more fossil fuel, and let's go for EVs. And these things also have EVs also have issues, because that is also one way extractive thing. But again, there are certain things that we can eliminate, like not changing cars. Once you have a car, EV car, you would be using that for a long time. And EV car batteries are also very expensive. So there is so many frugal things that our youth and experts can do within India. With the number of cars that we have in India, if you can create a system of frugalism to change a fossil fuel petrol car or diesel car into a battery car, there is a lot of employment. There is a lot of technology development over there. We can do all this kind of great things. I'm just mentioning about transport model. Same thing in the pharma, same thing in the biotech, same thing in the healthcare, same thing in the agriculture, same thing in the aviation. We could use sustainable aviation fuels, not from the ground, but using biochemical pathways also. There are some natural resources from which we can actually extract biofuels for many purposes. So these are all the ideas. Of course, since we have ocean, three sides are around our India, we should be focusing on ocean science.
I think we
also.
lost your
We
voice,
have to
sir.
hit hard on basic science.
Some disturbance in the
We have
voice.
forgotten the basic science development, and we are filing very less number of patents in comparison with countries like China. These are all the fundamental things that we have to change. We are talking too many things. Unfortunately, we have to get serious about creating a culture like West has in development of innovation and entrepreneurship. The bottom line is we all have to leave our egos and work for the ecosystems.
Yeah.
That could be environmental protection, that could be learning from each other, and that could be put everything in fast track so that we can become a vibrant nation with a totally different infrastructure through industry, etc.
Yeah.
China has done it. Even if we could follow, we will be in a better place than where we are today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, now I'll just try to just play this video with the volume.
Environmental signboards include save water, save energy, no littering, use dustbins, reduce, reuse, recycle, protect trees, keep environment clean, prevent pollutions, segregate waste. These signages continuously remind employees to follow environmentally responsible practices. Now let's take a World Environment Day pledge together. I pledge to protect the environment and conserve natural resources. I will save water, save energy, reduce waste, and prevent pollution. I will support recycling and encourage others to follow environmentally responsible practices. Together, we can create a cleaner, greener, and healthier future for everyone. Here are some powerful slogans that can be used during World Environment Day celebrations, which is protect nature, protect future. Go green, keep earth clean. Save environment, save life. Think green, act green. Plant trees, save earth. There is no planet B. Be part of the solutions, not the pollutions. Clean earth, healthy future. Small actions, big impact. One earth, one chance. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the HSC Coach Once again,
Yeah, I'll put a full stop here. And I hope we have shown so many videos, videos and so much of information. And it is up to every citizen now.
Yeah, that is a great message. I'm glad that we are ending with this note that gives a very clear picture. Our path for greening and bluing the things so that we don't do the mistake that we did on the name of industry, whatever it is.
Yep.
We have to be more democratic. Nobody is wrong or nobody is right. Depending on wherever we are, we have to learn these things because we means the included you.
Right.
You means
We all
including you. So this is
Your
where
family, your family, your
Vasudhaiva
society.
Kutumbam
Yeah.
also comes into the picture. So thank you so much.
Your family, your society, your state, your country, and the world
Exactly.
apart. We have to pool in our resources. Let us become responsible citizens towards judicious utilization of natural resources, right from ground to the sky, right from water to
Yes.
the air, everything included. Let us use them only in need. At the same time, let us see to that we don't pollute such resources. If you pollute, the present is gone, and what is going to be left for our kith and kin future? It is there in
Yeah.
your hands. This present should secure the future. Thank you very much, sir. Do support DRT.
Thank you very much, sir, for the opportunity. Before I leave, I have one more word to say. Let's learn from the West's mistake, right? We have so many examples where those things went wrong. And youth are very good in doing these things. Let's make use of such experiences for our betterment. Thank you again.
So do support DRTSPR channel, Citizens DRTSPR channel, and Environment People DRTSPR channels. They are all in larger public interest. Anyone differing with us, my number is 9440465339. I'll connect you from wherever you are. The show runs as per rule of law, Constitution invoking Evidential Act, with no enmity against individuals, nor animosity against parties or organizations. Symbiosis is with nature and environment with due responsibility. Thank you very much, sir. I will have
Thank
to
you
say
very
now,
much for the
I have to
opportunity.
say, along with Jai Telangana, Jai Kerala, I have to say Jai America and Jai Hind. Thank you very much.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. Jai humanity.
That's what.